So you think your privacy settings on your phones, in your apps, on your social media protect you and keep your location secret? I'll bet you never knew that simple little things, little actions that you take or your friends do online can actually reveal exactly where you are. What I'm talking about doesn't require complex technology, illegal access, or hacking of any kind. It just takes patience, perseverance, and a little know-how. You see, people today are often much more less private than they think they are, and their social media is a prime source for location information. I see it all the time. People unknowingly give away where they are just by doing what everyone else does normally. Now, I'm not talking about metadata or EXIF data in your photos. Most online social media platforms today strip all of that information long before anyone ever sees the image. And they do this for the sole purpose of protecting you, so hackers or stalkers can't get things like your exact GPS location data out of those images. The methods many people use, including private investigators, is much less complicated. What it really boils down to is careful observation and utilizing the information people put on their social media accounts, and I will go over some of these in detail and tell you how I have used these techniques myself to find people in just a moment. This video is sponsored by OREP Insurance and Working PI Magazine. OREP is a leading provider of private investigator liability insurance. Visit orep.org for a quote today. A big giveaway to your location is if you use those simple check-in functions on sites like Facebook. It appears to be perfectly safe, right? You are proud of where you're going, you're proud of what you're doing, and you want all of your friends to share in the excitement. In fact, in today's society, many people feel compelled to share their current location, almost like checking in with friends and family to let them know that you are normal in doing what everyone else does. But this exposes what restaurants, what sporting events, what school functions you go to. And if someone is watching, well, it gives away your exact location in real time. But even worse, it provides a pattern of activities that you do, almost as if you were posting your weekly calendar. And for private investigators, well, this is a wealth of information to be sure. This allows them to build patterns of habit over time. And you know what? It's not just those check-ins that give away this information. There are all those photos you take, with the kids at the park, or with your spouse on date night, or at regular school or church events. Those photos provide all kinds of great information to track, not only where you've been, but it can be used to track where you might go. I had a case one time where no one could find this couple. They had suddenly moved up here, but they hadn't told anybody where they moved. They had a lot of legal battles going on, both criminal and civil, so they had a lot of folks looking for them. When the clients called me, I was reluctant to take the case, but I did so with the understanding that I didn't know if I would be able to do any more than any of the other investigators did in the past. It took me a while to put things together. I did the regular skip trace stuff. I ran them in my secret super PI databases, all that jazz, but it was the OSINT investigation, the open source intelligence investigation, that helped me locate their exact location. As I was scouring social media pages of all of their friends and associates, I saw something incredible. I saw a few photos of them with friends and family, all in similar locations. I was pretty sure I knew where it was, but I wasn't 100% sure. The photos captured them outside, standing near a statue of some kids playing. I grabbed a screenshot of that statue and did some reverse image lookups, and I came to the same conclusion. I hopped on Google Maps, I dropped into the map, and lo and behold, I could tell the exact angle each of those photos were taken from. So I had the location, and I had the dates and the times those photos were taken, so I started some more research. The dates were all within a few days of one of the subjects' birthdays, and these photos were posted in the last 3 years. So we set up surveillance, watching a statue of kids playing for 3 days, and then boom, they showed up with more friends and they took that same picture. Then they went shopping and ate dinner. After dinner, we followed them to the house they were living in, and well, The rest, as they say, is history. You see, it doesn't have to be what you put up on social media. It could be what your friends or your family put up on social media that help people track you. I found these photos on friends and associates' Facebook pages, not the subject's Facebook pages. And yes, at that particular time, their friends did post that photo on Facebook within minutes of taking the picture. The subjects were not tagged in it, their names were not mentioned, but their faces gave it all away. I had another case involving a child custody matter. The other parent was refusing to pay any child support and had moved away, far away, to avoid being served papers. In this one, the subject himself was kind enough to, on occasion, post a photo of himself on social media. The problem being is that the photos he posted gave no clues whatsoever. They are always inside the house he was living in. So all we knew was what his living room and his kitchen looked like. But there was a small kitchen window that had a scenic view behind it with some rolling hills and a small portion of a mountain. No, I wasn't able to take a screenshot of that small blurry section and get any idea of where he was, but his sister was kind enough to clue me in. No, she didn't give me any information during an interview. In fact, I never spoke to her or any of his relatives or associates during this investigation. I know if someone is hiding, this is a good way to tip them off, even if the person that you are talking to isn't trying to help them hide. They might just mention the conversation with you to another associate or family member, and then the message gets conveyed. His sister was kind enough to post her itinerary for her family's summer vacation, so I just watched her Facebook page while she was on vacation. They went to lots of fun places, did all the things you normally do with kids and family. Then they went somewhere that didn't seem to be like it was the normal fun place to go on vacation. She posted a photo of her, her husband, the kids at a little diner having breakfast. When I saw the photo, something about it stood out, but I couldn't quite put my thumb on it. Then it dawned on me, this wasn't a selfie. They were not all crunched into a corner or surrounding one person. Somebody else took the photo for them. From that photo, with a portion of a menu on the table and the window looking out onto a main street, I was able to locate where the restaurant was. I then jumped on Google Maps, started looking all around, driving through town, using the arrow keys, and lo and behold, I saw a mountain that looked similar to that one in that kitchen window. I then grabbed a map of the location, identified the mountain that I thought was in the background of the subject's kitchen window, and I started drawing lines to show me the angle the house was from the mountain. I then jumped back into my virtual surveillance vehicle, Google Maps, and I started driving around. I was able to gather enough information from the photos the subject posted from inside the house, like the window types, that I could tell it was an older house, maybe built in the mid to late 60s. From that, I could identify particular neighborhoods the house might be in that might have that particular mountain view. Then I started driving around, virtually mind you, looking for that house. I also knew there was a shed in the backyard. Part of it was in that photo in the kitchen. With that information, I was able to identify a few possible houses. I popped those addresses into Google and came up with some rental listings with, yep, you guessed it, photos of the interior. From that, I was able to identify the exact house that he was living in. So I had a PI nearby go do some surveillance for me, and boom, we caught him on video, and the rest is, well, as they say, history. Do you know what was the biggest resource I used that allowed me to find these people? If you said Google, you were absolutely wrong. Yes, Google Maps played a fundamental role in finding the house, but that was just one tool, a single resource. It was not the one thing that I needed to utilize to the best of my abilities. That one major resource was time and patience. Yeah, I know. That is two different things, but they go hand in hand. I had to have patience to let the time work for me. I knew eventually something would come up, and it did. And I let the client know this too, and they were in favor of giving me the time I needed. Now, I didn't bilk or milk the client for money all along while I was working the case. I had planned limited time to work on it, and I let them know what that schedule looked like, and I sent them updates every step along the way. Now, if you enjoyed those case stories, you'll probably enjoy reading about a lot of my other cases in my book, Journey into a Private Investigator's World. I will leave a link down below so you can check it out before you watch this next video.